What's up, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family? One Eye Bri back to talk about The Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 4. Some discussion. Could that sad death have been prevented is the topic. Spoiler warning, obviously, if you haven't seen the episode, you're not up to date of the episode, or you don't want to know what we're going to talk about here, stop watching now, so spoiler warning. But the death we're going to talk about is, of course, Shiva. Was it preventable? Of course it was. But the writers, Kirkman, this had to get it done. But let's talk about what the facts that we have. Ezekiel is going to be a changed person after the kingdom, got destroyed. He lost a lot of valuable soldiers, kingdomers, and he loses Shiva. So he becomes a depressed, broken down person, and he needs someone to rile him up and come back around. I believe it'll be Carol who helps him out, and Jerry, of course, but we'll see how it goes down. But let's talk about Shiva a little bit. And I know it's a fictional character and it doesn't whatever, but I would assume that a tiger would be able to overpower a bunch of weak walkers. I mean, come on, or zombies or whatever you want to call them. Shiva's going to be 800 and some pounds. She's going to be very strong. She's going to be very agile. She could jump in, jump out, and she would have a nose for, if it's safe or not. She would be able to, she came in, tossed that walker away, batted a couple of them around, and then she was overcome by too many of them. Now, I get the premise that, and it's a comic book death coming to the show, and it's a fictional character. A tiger is not going to probably be controlled by a zookeeper in this world of the zombie apocalypse. But here, look at all these walkers. They're super skinny. They're super weak. They have no muscle mass, no muscle tone. And again, this is just a fun discussion. We know that Shiva had to be gone for the Ezekiel storyline and the comic coming to the show. Now, Kirkman, it was kind of annoying when Kirkman was like, yeah, I didn't think they'd put a tiger in it, and then they put a tiger in it. And I was like, I'm going to write and put a tiger in it because I can do that, and I'm going to be a better writer for it. Is it or not? But Ezekiel was wounded. He really couldn't fight, but Carol or Jerry could have took the Zatiochi sword, what it's called, his walking stick that becomes a sword, could have helped out a little bit. Jerry's axe was broken, so of course they're going to be like, oh, is it plausible? Ezekiel was in no shape to do anything to help out, even though he did put up some fight and cut up some walkers and did that. But overall, Shiva had to go because of the comic connection and CGI budget. I mean, come on, CGI is expensive for an AMC show. It's a cable show. They put money into it, but it's all about money in that going forward. They try to bring in a lot of money and make tons of money, but also having a good product. And I think Shiva was done very well over the series from episode 702 to episode 804. She had a good run, and we'll talk about some awesome things that she did in the series that we got to see. But to me, I think the death could have been preventable if there's any sort of thing in this world. Justification, of course. Ezekiel, Carol's probably out of bullets. Ezekiel's a wounded person. He had to stay out of the way. But Jerry and Carol could have helped out a little bit, I guess. And then Shiva could have jumped in and out of the pit. And she was agile and fast and knocked a bunch of them away. Because with one paw strike, she would be able to just knock over a bunch of the walkers, grab one with her mouth, throw it out, kick another one, do something, and then jump back out and just reevaluate on there too. But the other question is Jerry going to get his axe back? Or better yet, get a new axe? I would assume so. I hope the character, a battle axe is pretty awesome, a pretty awesome weapon to have. And I hopefully see that the Hilltop could make an axe for him on there. They could forge one, but we'll see. Time will tell. I hope Jerry sticks around for a long, long time. We had an Easter egg for Ezekiel. Did they foreshadow a couple things? We showed that in another video. And this is just a fun discussion, guys, about the death of Shiva. Shiva, one of the best things of the season 7 trailer was the Shiva roar, was the appearance of Shiva for the first time in Ezekiel there, which was pretty cool. And Ezekiel is a very complex character, faking it until he makes it, but ultimately his power and the best part of Ezekiel is Shiva in my eyes. Well, we'll see how the character changes without Shiva being around. But overall, I think they did a great job with Shiva. Post your comments below, guys. It's basically a discussion about Shiva on the show. Could her death been preventable on there? Post your comments below on there. But she did some big things. One, saving Carl. That was huge to come in. And they posed the question, like, how does Shiva know who to attack and stuff? It's a fictional thing. I wouldn't assume there would be tigers under human control. There might be tigers and animals and lions and bears, oh my. But on that, in the world of the zombie apocalypse, if a zoo got opened up, or a zoo got the animals just ran out, or wild animals are just running around, there would be wild animals. I would assume there would be hawks and buzzards and all that stuff, which we don't see in the world of The Walking Dead, but there would be wild animals around, probably taking out walkers and being hunted. But overall, Shiva came, Shiva went, and forever changed the course of The Walking Dead. I would have assumed it was a big deal in the comics when people read it, and on the show, we knew she was coming. We were excited for it. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of her in the first half of season 7. We saw some big things happen at the end of it. She was there in bits and pieces, but Shiva was pretty cool on the show. But if we think from a realistic approach, she probably wouldn't be under the control of Ezekiel. Maybe, I don't know if they're real deal animals, that wild animals or zoo animals that could have been under the control of zookeepers. I mean, I would assume a zoo animal would be able to be helped and directed and really, told what to do by their keepers. But ultimately, if the animal came into the wild, like being reintroduced to the wild, I guess this isn't the wild, but it is to a zoo animal who's out of the zoo in a controlled environment. How would you be able to, wrangle that animal back up? So there's just some fun discussions about it on there, just to know your thoughts on it. It's not being critical or anything of the show, but I would assume right there Shiva could have jumped out. But overall, I'm going to miss Shiva on the show. I thought she brought a lot of different things to the series. Season 7, she was probably one of the best parts of Season 7, which wasn't the best season by a lot of people. But post your comments below, guys, what you make of Shiva, and if her death was preventable. I'm just interested to know your thoughts on that, guys. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at the PT channel. We post cool stuff all the time about The Walking Dead and other topics. Walking Dead community page on Facebook. We got a group and a page. Everyone's welcome to join there. We have discussions like this and much more. My book series, Fight for Us, books 1, 2, and 3. We got the link in the description for the Amazon link. It's on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com online. And if you can, guys, hit that subscribe button to help achieve our goal of 100,000 subscribers. You guys are awesome, and thank you for watching.